Have you seen our senior center?
It's that little yellow.
That little mustard building down.
Yeah.
It's, I can't even tell you the words that I would use to describe it. There's been a battle going on for a while. And early on when I was on the committee, we were looking for grants, et cetera, and everything's dried up. You know, it's just, that's a giant need in the community. I mean, how can this state start to address issues like that? It needs like communities like Abington, Eastbridge. I know Abington did a senior center a little while ago, right?
They took over the church.
Okay.
Yep, that's right.
But East Bridgewater, you know, Whitman, all that, because we have needs.
I mean, Whitman Senior Center is also kind of falling apart, and they keep patching it together, putting a new floor in this next year to try to keep it going. So they're screaming for some needs. And you know what? The truth is, I don't even know if it's the state that should be doing something. I think the town should be doing something. But the fact of the matter is, the towns need the revenue back. And this is sort of, again, the central reason I'm running for office is because I believe that the state needs to be giving back local aid first. And I'd like to see a fixed amount every year so the towns know exactly what they're going to get when they vote at town meeting from the state. You know, have a much more predictable amount. Instead, local aid tends to be the last thing, and it gets, you know, rated before it gets voted.
But Jeff, that gets pretty hairy because they have to reduce spending if they're to do that.
And reducing spending, there's ample places to reduce spending. You know, I actually am a proponent of reducing the sales tax, and so, you know, when you say, well, reduce the sales tax, that's going to mean less money for the towns. It's not. Actually, when you reduce the sales tax, you're going to help spur business. You know, there's actually an initiative to roll back the taxes to 3%, the sales tax to 3%. That puts us competitive with all the surrounding New England states as far as now we're going to get business and industry that's want to come here, hire people. You end up making more as a state and as a town off of more people working, more people spending, and that's how you really get revenue back here. We're going in the opposite direction. We keep increasing government, soaking it up from the people in taxes, and drying up the industry that really made this state work. So truthfully, I think you lower taxes, it actually brings in more money. I know it's one of these things that it's hard to believe, the party in power tends not to believe that, but that will work, and that will give us the money to get more local aid back to our towns, because we know where it needs to be spent. Why do we send it to the state and then have them tell us how to spend it? We know how it should be spent.
I agree with you. I think the money needs to be coming back to the communities. I got a great idea, though. If we take Abington, Whitman, and East Bridgewater and combine our population, we'd be about the size of Lawrence, and maybe we could get $35 million.
$35 million, no sweat, right? I mean, that was a whole nother issue. It's hard to believe what gets done in this state. Yeah.
With no way to support it tomorrow. Let's look at today and not look at tomorrow. That's a beef of mine. But I just want to continue on.
Well, I mean, and the other thing too about that was, I mean, you had a situation where the mayor is the state rep. I mean, it was almost like a, hey, you know what? If you back off, we'll give you that money that you need. I mean, that's not the way to get things done in the state.
No,
that's holding people for ransom, and you and I are paying for it. You know, it's.
That is how it appeared, didn't it? But okay, so the senior center talked about funding, money coming back to the communities. High school. I don't know if you know about East Bridgewater High School.
I've heard a little bit about.
But did you see the yellow tape at the top of the stairway?
Yeah.
That's because it's been flooded out.
Got to make sure you come around the right way to get to the studio here, right?
Yeah. A couple of years ago, the roof came down, all the snow, etc. We needed a high school. We've been on probation as far back as I can remember.
The NEASC probation, right, where they look at the physical plant and determine, you know, several things, but the physical plant is one of the issues. They want to make sure that you're able to provide the environment for kids to be learning. It's pretty basic. You should have a good facility. Yeah,
and the facility's definitely lacking, and we can have the battles about, well, you didn't take care of it, you didn't take care of it. You know what? We need to get past that, and we need to look at how we're going to fund a new high school, not only in East Bridgewater, but other communities who are in need also, with all the changes that have been out there. Now, Whitman-Hanson, beautiful school. Beautiful school. You know, you guys got on. Did you get 80% funding on that? You know,
it was around that level at the time. I mean, I know that they're no longer funding at the same levels, but you know what's nice about Whitman-Hanson is it's become the model for other schools. I mean, we've got. I don't want to get too technical, but some amazing green technology that goes on there. They use gray water collected off the roof to actually be part of the flush system. They've got. The cooling for that building is pipes that go 75 deep into the ground and 75 feet deep. And the water runs through it. It's so cold when it comes back through the building, it actually cools the building, so they don't have to use the refrigerant. So there's just some technical stuff as well as the space itself is incredible, and the smart boards they use for kids to learn on. It's incredible.
Yeah, we took a tour there actually after it opened up, and it was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. And if we could have 1/5 of what they have there right here in our community for our kids, we'd be ahead of where we are today. But
It's doable. I mean, to build something like that, you've got the model. It's doable.
It's doable, but the funding has changed.
The funding comes through.
And the funding has only changed because, I'm going to go through it again, there's too much spending going on. Not enough is coming back to the communities, whether it be through the lottery, the sales tax. I mean, wasn't the lottery supposed to all come back to the communities?
Right. I mean, they look to every possible, when you get into emergency and you've spent the rainy day money, our governor spent the rainy day money the minute he took office. It's gone. Now you've got to look to everything. You start rating everything that you can, and we're in desperate situations. So
Okay,
we'll have to get that on another day. But I know it's a major issue. It's going to hopefully gets addressed very soon.
Well, it's pretty clear that Plymouth County, well, statewide, but specifically, our area where I'm growing up here in East Bridgewater, Whitman, and Abington, we've got some problems. We've got some problems, and we need some help. We need, but we're not going to do it ourselves. We need help from the state, and the state can only help us if they start making some corrections and changes. So what's coming up for Geoff Diehl in the future here?
Yeah, well, my daughter's got her first communion this Saturday, so that's the most important thing. I've got to, we're going to have a party and all that sort of thing afterwards. So that's this Saturday. But actually, the next thing that's going on as far as just me being out there is I will be up at the State House on May 20th for a mass motorcycle event, just to raise awareness about riding issues and things like that. So you can find out more about my things going on at www.geoffdiehl.com, and I'll be seeing you out and about, I'm sure, this summer as well.
All right, well, Geoff, thanks for taking the time to be with me tonight. It was a pleasure
Thank you very
hosting
much,
this
Dave.
show, and I hope to do it again soon.
Very good.
Thank you very much. And good night to the folks of East Bridgewater, Whitman, and Abington. Thank you.